Shabbat Shalom, everybody. My name is Jason.
I'm Caden. I'm Jaden.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Yah.
And we are the 𝐤𝐄𝐄 and the Torah YouTube channel. And we are also on Rumble. You'll find us all over the place. And you will, well, we are actually very, very happy that you guys are here. We have a new little setup, new little gig here. We have Ethernet cables draped from our ceiling into a little connection, trying to make sure the stream hopefully works well. So we're hoping that Jerry stops that. That's what we're hoping. And he's just sitting here about 1.5 feet away, just smiling at me. Just, I don't know why. Eli's petting him, but he won't stop announcing himself. So we are the family that believes that the laws, statutes, and commandments that are found in the first 5 books of Scriptures, which are Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, are the guide for all life. It is the guide for a way to a place in the future, which is called, most people know of as the second Exodus. We're looking for that hope and we're looking for the dream, and it was not going to be found anywhere else other than in the laws, statutes, and commandments. Cade, will you please open us up in prayer?
Pretty Father, thank you once again for bringing us all together as a united family, seeking your way, seeking your commands and your Torah. We ask that your reading is blessed today, that the messengers open our eyes to what we need to see, that your Ruach is upon us, that we are understanding of your word, that we are seeing what is unseen, that we are seeing your greatness and your works and your wonders and everything. We ask that your Shabbat today is honored as the day you have set apart from the rest of the world, that you told your people to keep. You will be our Elohim. We ask that we are blessed. We ask that we are holy. We ask that we are pure in everything that we do. In Yahshua's name, amen.
All right, Jade, will you please bring us our Deuteronomy 6 greeting here? Eli, you missed the button.
Hear, O Yisrael, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah is one. And you shall love Yahuwah, your Elohim, with all your heart, with all your being, with all your might. And these words I am commanding you today shall be in your heart. And you shall impress them upon your children, and shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, when you rise up. And you shall bind them as a sign on your hand, as you front between your eyes. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates.
All right. And so, guys, as we are getting ready to do what we do every Shabbat, which is going through the laws, statutes, and commandments, I don't want to lose anybody here, because first and foremost, the laws, statutes, and commandments are the greatest asset that we have ever been given as human beings. We have been given something that not only will allow us to be led into a future where the powers of darkness are not attacking us constantly, but it is a way forward. And these laws, statutes, and commands have been avoided by so many. They've been neglected. They've been thrown in the trash. And as we read through them, and as I get older in life, I've never found anything better. The greatest thing that a creator could ever give his children are the guides to life, a playbook, a rule book, a way forward, that we're just not stuck here in the hands of Hasatan, living in this world where evil has grown so great that it's the very, very small minority of the people that are not into this great evil. And so as we go through these laws, statutes, and commandments, please do not fade away on us. For those who are new, for those who listen later on, and most of you guys listen much later on and not go through this live session. But once we're done with the law, statutes, and commands, I'm going to go through some stories and some things that we have not fully ever talked about. And we're going to tell you some stuff that you will never probably hear anywhere else. And it's going to be something that has been basically surrounding us and surrounding our lives for a very, very long time. And there's so much of it that I can't not talk about this and take note of what I've noticed. And it's something that possibly we have been kept alive for this particular time, just to come across and to explain things that most people probably do not know and will not ever be able to see. And so we are going to go over the laws, statutes, and commandments very first, which are the most important things ever. And then after that, we're going to go into this interesting little story. I hope it's interesting. And we are going to talk about some supernatural stuff that, again, I don't hear anyone else ever talking about in this kind of fashion that we will be. So here we are. Mr. Cole, do you want to give a shout out to all of our brothers and sisters, friends, family, people we love very dearly in the chat room.
Yes, we have Brother Glenn and Sister Marina. We have a new name, Juniper Jennifer.
Hi. Hi, Jennifer.
Bone Cat 1.
What's up, brother?
Irma. The Grandma's here. Lisa. Candy and Ruby. Sylvia Ewart, she's joined now that she has electricity back again.
Yay, Sister Sylvia's here.
Sister Barb. Genie Not of This World. Mama CA. Oh, I see some new ones here. Suburban.
Homestead from Michigan. What's up?
And then Days Rainy.
Days Rainy. And we got Jeremy. What's up, brother?
And Callan.
Yeah, Jeremy and Callan and anybody in the future. Cindy, if you listen to this, much love, dear sis. Who else do we have that listens later? Carla and Joey. Yeah, much love. All right, so here we are, everybody. It is a Shabbat. It is an incredible day. It's kind of an overcast day here, which is really weird because we're in the middle of hot summer. And so it's the first cooler day that we've had in a very, very long time, which is probably pretty nice. You probably won't hear all of the same stuff on the roof that you normally do on an overcast day like today. So that might be good, and hopefully the stream is rocking and rolling with our new little setup here from the jungle. Okay, anyone have anything prior to this before we roll? How's everyone?
Good.
Jade, Eli, everyone good?
Yep.
Mom, you good?
Yep.
All right, well, much love to everybody out there. Again, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being a part of Yah's world here. Okay, commandment number 1 that we have that we can keep today that will make us potential people for the kingdom to come is be fruitful.
Number 2, multiply.
Replenish the earth.
Subdue it, have dominion over the fish, fowl, and every living creature.
They are bearing in every tree is for food.
Man and woman should build their own families.
Master sin,
Every clean moving thing that lives shall be food for you.
Do not eat the blood.
walk before me and be perfect.
Guard Yahuwah's covenants, laws, statutes, and commandments.
Every male shall be circumcised at 8 days old.
Teach your children the commands and guard the way of Yahuwah.
Remember Yahuwah's name for all generations.
Keep the Passover.
Keep the feast of unleavened bread, festival of matzah.
There's one Torah for the stranger and one for the Hebrew.
Sanctify all firstborn to Yahuwah.
There are no mighty ones before Yahuwah.
You shall not make graven images.
Do not bring Yahuwah's name to naught.
Keep the Shabbat.
Honor your parents.
Do not kill.
Do not break wedlock.
Do not steal.
Do not make false accusations against your neighbor.
Do not covet anything of your neighbors.
Do not make an altar from rock that Yahuwah has touched.
Do not go up to the altar by the steps.
If a man steals cattle, he shall restore it 5 times.
Yahuwah's laws for criminals.
Do not lie with beast.
No sacrifices to other Elohim.
Do not oppress a stranger, fatherless, or widow.
Do not charge your brother interest.
If you borrow your neighbor's raiment, return to him before sunset.
Do not curse the ruler of your people.
Do not eat what is torn of any beast.
No faulty report.
Do not follow a multitude of evil.
Do not judge unrighteously against the poor.
Bring back your enemy's cattle if you find it going astray.
Help the animals of your enemy.
Stay away from rumors and gossipers.
Take no bribes.
Do not oppress a stranger. Love the stranger.
Give your land rest in the 7th year.
Do not mention any pagan names.
Keep the feast of Yahuwah.
Do not cook your goat in his mother's milk.
Obey the messenger Yahuwah sent before you.
Do not bow down to other Elohim.
Serve Yahuwah.
Make no covenant with other Elohim or outside of the land.
Do not make or use any oil on a normal person. Do not make or use perfume on a normal person.
Do not eat the fat.
Do what you say you are going to do.
Return what is your neighbor's.
Obey Yahuwah's dietary laws.
When is time of separation?
Obey Yahuwah's hygiene laws.
Keep the Day of Atonement.
Do not uncover the nakedness of your family.
Do not take your woman's sister for a wife.
Do not lie with a woman in her uncleanness.
You shall not sacrifice your children to Moloch.
Do not be a sodomite.
Be holy.
Do not reap the corn to your field, or you shall not glean your vineyard.
Do not deal falsely or defraud your neighbor.
Do not lie or be a liar.
Pay your workers the day's wage they are due.
Do not harm the disabled.
Do not endanger your neighbor.
Do not hate your brother.
Rebuke your neighbor for his sin.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
Do not divert your cattle.
Do not mingle your seed.
Do not mingle linen and wool.
Do not lie with a taken woman.
Do not eat the fruit of the trees for 3 years.
Do not practice sorcery.
Do not round your beard or the corners of your head.
Do not cut yourself for the dead.
Do not get tattoos.
Do not prostitute your daughter.
Do not defile your temple.
Do not consult the medium.
Respect your elders.
Have correct weights and measures.
Do not walk in the manners of the nation.
Keep the feast of first fruits, Shavuot, Omer, Count, Pentecost.
Keep the feast of trumpets, Yom Teruah.
Keep the feast of Sukkot, Shemini Atzeret.
If you blaspheme the name of Yahuwah, you shall be put to death.
If you kill your neighbor's animal, you must give him another.
Repay injury for injury.
Honor the Yobel, Jubilee year.
Confess to Yahuwah and repay who you have trespassed against.
The law of being a Nazir.
Wear zizit on the 4 corners of your garments.
The laws of who are attached to the corpse.
Follow Yahuwah's law of inheritance.
The law of keeping your oath to Yahuwah.
Do not add or take away from the word.
Guard your soul.
Learn to fear Yahuwah.
You shall love Yahuwah with all your heart.
Bind the Torah laws upon your hand, the frontlets between your eyes.
Write the Torah, the laws, on your doorposts.
Do not tempt Yahuwah.
Do what is right and good in the sight of Yahuwah.
Do not be afraid of your enemies.
Remember Yahuwah.
Circumcise your heart.
Cleave to Yahuwah.
Swear by his name.
Destroy graven images.
Do not make an idol of Yahuwah, as the pagans do their Elohim.
Rejoice in all Yahuwah has blessed you with.
Do not do what is right in your own eyes.
Do not hearken to the words of the false prophets.
Do not make any baldness between your eyes for the dead.
You shall not eat any abominable thing.
You shall give to a stranger of clean food that dies of itself, but you shall not eat of it.
Give tithe of your increase of seed year by year.
Laws of the end of the 7-year lease.
Do not borrow from the nations.
Do not harden your heart, nor shut your hand from the poor.
Guard month 1 of Yahuwah's calendar.
3 times a year all males shall appear before Yahuwah.
You shall make judges and officers in all your gates.
Do not plant astral poles near the altar.
There must be 2 or 3 witnesses.
Hearken unto the prophet Yahuwah has chosen.
Nabbi, prophetess of Deuteronomy.
Do not remove your neighbor's property line.
How to deal with false witness among Torah keepers.
If
The first child is to get double portions.
your brother's cattle or clothes are lost, and you find them, you must return them.
A woman should not wear what pertains to a man, nor a man wear what pertains to a woman.
If you find a bird's nest with the mother and the babies or eggs, take the babies, but not the mother.
If you build a new house with a flat roof that you lived on, you must put a railing around it.
Do not be a prostitute.
Do not use dirty money.
The Torah of divorce.
Do not take a person's millstone for a pledge.
And if you lend to your brother, do not enter his house to get your payment. He must bring it to you. Return his clothing before sunset if that was his pledge.
Do not oppress a hired servant that is poor and needy.
Every man shall be put to death for his own sin.
Do not go back from the forgotten sheep and field deer for the stranger, fatherless, and widow.
Do not muzzle your ox when he treads out grain.
If your brother dies and has a child, you shall take his wife and name the firstborn after your brother.
At the end of 7 years, you are to read the Torah at the Feast of Sukkot, Feast of Tabernacles.
All right, so there we go. Let's go to our main screen. So there is the laws, statutes, and commandments. Now, if you go through them and we look at them, I don't think if we use a mind of thinking that there's nothing in these lists that is too hard to do. There's not a single commandment that seems really wacky. Right? There's nothing in here that goes, wow, this is totally crazy. None of this makes sense. Every single law in here makes sense. Every single command in here makes sense. And so these are what we should be writing on our heart, mind, and soul. It is what we should be rising up in the morning and be just joyous that we have a guidebook from our Creator, that He not only loves us so much that He gave to us and told us, I will be your Elohim if you will be my people. And how we are His people is in obedience. There's no other way. As we delve through all of these Christian religions that are out there, not a single one of them has the guide to what life is. And the guide to life is found in your scriptures. It's found in the very first page of Genesis. It's found at the very last page of Revelations. And every one of these is what our lives should be. Now, I explained a little bit before this that I wanted to talk about this. And I guess the first thing, I don't even know where this is going to go. I haven't even thought too much about how to say this or what we're going to say on this. But my family and I, there's 5 of us, as you guys know. In the year of 2015, during a very crazy time in the United States of America, one of the final straws that broke the camel's back as to why we're not even in America anymore has to do with Planned Parenthood. And it had to come down in the year of 2015 when Planned Parenthood was exposed. Now, there was a group of researchers that went in and they filmed Planned Parenthood basically disassembling the babies and putting it up for auction. And the people that went in and investigated it were basically saying they were there to buy the baby parts. And so the Planned Parenthood took them through their entire baby harvesting place where they were basically, you could see them cutting up the babies and you could see them and the people sitting there talking about making money on them and all these little people. And this was something that had already been established. The medical industry of the United States of America had long been okay with the buying and selling of baby parts. Now, Planned Parenthood just made it commercialized, and the problem, not so much that these people are great evil, the problem was the United States government, through our taxes, did fund and still funds Planned Parenthood. So in the year 2015, when I saw this, I decided that, you know what, I was done harvesting babies. I was done paying taxes to have babies harvested because I don't think there's a way out of this. I don't think once you realize that your tax money is going into this great evil, that you're not held accountable. We had to leave the United States, and we did. We took everything that we had, and at the time, Miss Nicole and I had a very well-to-do ISP. We built and we operated an ISP, an internet service provider in Oregon and Washington. We were doing very, very well. But we decided we weren't doing well enough to stay in the United States of America. And so we packed up 2 vehicles, a Toyota Tundra and a van, a Toyota van. Everything that we had, that we could fit in there, that we knew of, that we took. And so it was a very interesting drive away from the U.S. because we left the majority of our stuff there. We left to a place, we left a very nice house on the hill. We left it all. We drove away. And we never looked back. And that trip took us somewhere down the road, very much from Oregon all the way through the United States, down into Texas, and from Texas down into Mexico, and Mexico into Guatemala. And we are, the best description that we probably have, or we are probably redneck techno hillbillies. That's probably what we are. We are high-level IT people with a huge redneck background. And so when we exited the United States of America on our trip out of the United States, we didn't realize that you had to have, that Verizon didn't work. We thought Verizon worked, like wherever you went. It was like a worldwide company, right? We stepped into Mexico. We drove into Mexico, and we lost all cell communications. We lost absolutely everything we had. All of our maps that we didn't have physical maps of were gone. We had no idea what in the world was going on. And all we had heard throughout a lifetime of being in the U.S. is how dangerous South America was, how dangerous Mexico was, and how the people are always ending up dying down there and various things. And I will tell you that the second we made it into Mexico, I popped open my door and I got on my knees and I prayed to our Creator and I thanked Him for allowing me out of one of the greatest, wickedest countries ever to be known. And it's not freeing other countries from being wicked, but as far as the great evil the United States has done worldwide in sharing their freedom, right? They have freedom wars for 25, 30 years where they're giving everybody freedom, right? And at the end, we end up with 10 million dead Iraqis, 10 million dead Afghanistans. We have millions of our own soldiers that are dead, right? And this is the world that I was glad to escape. So as we are driving through Mexico with no maps, no nothing at all, it was supposed to be a 9-day trip. It was supposed to be around 9 days from Mexico into Panama, where we are at, where we had gone. And prior to this, we'd never ever gone to Panama. We had never even left the United States. I barely left the West Coast. I mean, that's, we traveled around for Google, but I did not see much. I did not know much. And so as we get into Mexico, it wasn't quite like the people said. But one thing was our family had no Spanish, not a single lick of it. I cheated my entire way through Spanish class in school, didn't care a rip about it. And unfortunately, that was probably a problem because here we are. And so the reason I'm explaining what our situation and where it was is since the year 2015, we have encountered more supernatural hands of invisibility that have affected our lives that I can even count. During this 19-day travel, we got lost in Mexico. The very first night in Mexico, we had no idea where we are. We just rolled across the side of the road, rolled into this little valley, and spent the night in this place. We didn't know if we were gonna get killed by marauders. We had no idea. We literally are sleeping out almost under the stars. It is very, very terrifying when you're in these things. So because we're a bunch of, we weren't planned enough to have real maps, we ended up spending 4 or 5 days in Mexico rolling. It was 8 days in Mexico?
8 days in Mexico.
8 days. We have conflicting people here. Some people say it was 4. I thought it was 4. Nicole said it was 8. Eli said it was 6. I will tell you that the only time that we saw a freeway, a highway in Mexico was with the first 2.5 hours that we were there. At which point, the road stopped. Literally the road stopped. I went the wrong direction and we were so lost. The only thing that we did was point the GPS on our truck south. We just started driving south. If it started going west or north or anything other than south, we knew that we were lost and we knew that we had to go south. And it was such an adventure that as we were leaving Mexico, We were so lost. We ended up in Guatemala, and we ended up at the Guatemala checkpoint. And we hadn't even checked out of Mexico. And for anybody who has never traveled before, how you travel is you go from, say, from US, you have your passport stamped, you log in, they give you all the stuff you need for your cars, and every border you stamp in, stamp out, stamp in, stamp out. That's the way of travel. That's how it works. We just ended up in Guatemala. We did not know why, and so we had to go paying people off, and we had to pay off the people in Guatemala to say that we stamped in, stamped out, and these guys, they shook us down. I don't remember how many hundreds of dollars it was, but all they were after was really money, and we were able to accommodate them, which was great, and they just let us fly on. And so we continue on, and as we're going through Guatemala, we were so lost, we ended up floating both of our cars on this little itty bitty tiny boat that had like a 25 horsepower Rudd motor. Like the smallest boat motor that you could possibly find is what they had us load our cars and other people's cars up on. And they fought this crazy stream going across the river. We had no idea what it was, what was going on. In Guatemala, they were very dark-skinned guys with a lot of swords. When we got on the boat, we had no idea if we were going to live on that boat and making it off there. We just did not know. We are the only white people out in the middle of a jungle just cruising around. So we made it out of this place, right? And I remember one point in Guatemala, we were, again, so lost. We were driving roads that weren't roads, and we ended up in a little village. We got out, and there was nobody there. So we're walking around this little village, and all of a sudden, heads start peeping out, little places here and there. And we sat there, and with these little villagers in the middle of Guatemala, we sat and played Pictionary, and we were trying to figure out, how do we find a city? We're trying to find any roads. Is there any roads around here? Are you guys aware of any roads that have any kind of travelability? Because we have found the roads that you cannot really travel. So we finally made it out of Guatemala, and we continue on. And we had a tremendous amount of life-changing experiences. Let me go back to Mexico real quick. Because in Mexico, as we are leaving Mexico, I don't even know if we were leaving Mexico, but we were stuck in the middle of Mexico. We wandered into this little itty bitty tiny town. That's after we had a breakdown with a little tiny trailer that we were pulling behind my truck. We got there in about 10 o'clock, I believe. It was around then. And nobody spoke Spanish. Nobody spoke English. We found one dude in the entire town that spoke a little bit of English. And from there, we got a welder and we got a guy. We're in a parking lot of this little tiny ghetto gas station. And we sat there all day long as this dude is trying to weld us back together. And during this time, they explained to us there are no police people in this town. This town was owned by El Guapo or Chapo or Guapo, one of these guys, and it was his town. And as the sun went down, if you were in this town, they're going to come take everything you had. So that's what we learned prior to the sun ever going down. And we're sitting at this gas station with our fifth wheel, with all of the things that we have, trying to figure out where to go. And as the sun sets, multiple cars and trucks start surrounding us. And I remember a circle with the lights on, and I was asking the dude, what's the happening? What's going on? And they're like, well, they're waiting for sunset. They're waiting for you. So I made that, at that moment, I like, I said, let's just leave this fifth wheel here. Let's take what else we have and make it look completely like Sanford and Sons. We loaded mattresses up on top of the van. We loaded everything that was possible out of this trailer. And we told the dude that was helping us, here you go. This is yours. And he's like, are you sure? I said, yes. Get us to a place of safety. This is yours. So he took off in the middle of the town. We followed him. Dudes were all sitting right there. We made it to this little place. He tucked us into this little itty bitty tiny motel, and we were safe. Now, the thing was, Miss Nicole forgot all of our gold and silver in that little trailer. And so every bit of life savings that we had was tucked somewhere in this trailer, and we donated it to the people of Mexico.
Can I go back a little bit?
Go back.
The Mexican border. So everybody, how everybody tells you can't bring anything through. They'll take everything if you don't declare it, blah, blah,
That's
blah.
a lie.
So we took our silver and gold and hid it all throughout different spots in the trailer. So that's why I forgot it, because it was in many different places.
Yeah, so we're rolling again, and we make it out. We make it all the way to our destination. And that was one of those things that was almost nearly 10 years ago, that the hand of Yah completely helped this little set of gringo people that were doing stuff. that I hadn't seen anyone else do. As we were making this travels, I didn't see any other white folks that were in vehicles that looked like us that were traveling along, and I'm sure there have been. But even at this point, coming down here, there's very, very few people that have ever driven that road. And everybody has the same thing: you better fly, you're going to die. And it was, if there was a chance of us dying, that was then. And our Creator has completely taken a supernatural hand, and he got us 19 days out of there. We were nearly beat, dead before we ever made it. Now, going years later, we are down here. We had 10 pit bulls. During the time that we had 10 pit bulls, we have had numerous fights, 25, 50 hardcore fights, where I have to jump in the middle of the dog fight. The boys are jumping in the middle of the dog fight. And it doesn't make a lot of sense to anybody who's never seen a dog fight, but we are the people that jump in the middle of dog fights because we do not want our babies torn up. And so we will, at the risk of our life, when we had our other dog, Panthro, for the first 5 years, we had more stress and more drama. Every single day was a fight. Every single one of us here in Boss Clan packed around tasers. We all had a taser. We all had a stick. We all had gloves. This is how we walked around our house, because at any moment, these crazy dogs could go crazy, and we had to be able to stop them and defend them. So throughout all these fights, I have endless marks on my arms and legs and everywhere where these dogs have owned me. I guess not on my legs, but I guess I have them on my arms, my fingers, all of my arm. And we never got killed, right? We have been through massive dog fights, and the hand of our Creator, every time that we're done, we're like on death's door. We're freaking out. Blood's everywhere. The dogs are injured. And we're like, whoo, we made it. We made it through another one. And it is without a shadow of a doubt that we have messengers that are fighting with us, literally, that we have hands of our Creator that have been tasked, and whoever drew the short straw of hanging out with Boss Clan, they have had to earn their due, because this has happened to us over and over and over. A year or so ago, we ended up with a fire that swept our entire land. There were 5 of us running from one point to the other point, little hoses, little tiny buckets, putting out dry grass fire that was 5 feet, 6 feet high. The flames were just encircling us. Nothing we could do. And we are sitting here freaking out, trying to defend our house as the rest of the land is completely burning up. And everybody on their own, we talked about it later, everybody was praying that Yah would put the fire out. Well, he put the fire out. He put the fire out in the middle of dry grass. The whole back side of it was completely dry, and it just stopped. And it doesn't do that. We saw the effects of everywhere else the fire went. The hand of our Creator literally put out a ginormous dry grass fire right in the middle of the fire. Things you cannot explain anywhere else. You cannot explain it. I could not explain it. I did videos on YouTube back in the day showing you guys the fire, and people were like, wow, it just stopped right there. So that's the hand of our Creator, and I'm going over this so that you guys will understand that there is a supernatural strength that surrounds all of you. Whether or not you see it, whether or not you understand it is there, the power of our Creator is huge, and he absolutely does these crazy things. Now, this leads to the story of this week. Boss Clan was in yet another thing. Go pull up our picture of our little snake here. Go pull up the description of the thing. Go to the other one. This was what our week was. Boss Clan is a feisty group of people. We had to do a computer gig. It was late at night on Tuesday that we were trying to finish it up for a very early install on 8 o'clock Wednesday morning. And we were just scrambling here. Everything was going wrong. Jade runs out to this little storage place that we call Grannyland. I don't even know why we call it Grannyland, but we call it Grannyland, and it is a computer land where we have all of our computers. He had to run out there, and he ran out in his flip-flops, this little flip-flop things with, you have socks on, right? With socks on. He ran out there. Now, before we go into this, let's look at this snake right here. This thing is called a Fur de Lance. I don't know what they think, but whatever it is, it's a highly venomous snake. It's a pit viper found low to moderate elevations in northeast Mexico and Central America and into South America, where it is known from elevations 2,600. It is extremely highly venomous. Now, Jade walked out there, and Eli was with him, and Jade says something like to Eli, like, I just got bit by a snake or something, and Eli goes, what, you did? And so we come back in here, and the thing about snake bites are they are very deadly, right? Once you get bit, you start swelling up. Things happen, right? The venom goes into you. You have some issues. Jade gets bit. He comes in here. The entire family was completely upside down. Miss Nicole, as sweet as she is, she was dropping superlatives left and right because she was freaking out. Jade was unwilling to like even have first aid done on this because he was in just a mess. The whole house was like, if you could see a house of complete chaos, that was these moments right after Jade got bit by a snake. Jade's like, he's crazy enough. All he wants to do is finish his computer work, right? He's like, we just got to get this done for the morning. As a Boy Scout, as an Eagle Scout, I looked at it and I saw 2 fang marks on his feet. Nothing else. So I have my wife and the kids are freaking out. Jaden's freaking out. I have to get a little crazy myself. Finally, we get everybody somewhat calmed down, and we're observing this foot while Jade is still working, and it was just a little bit of a bite. Now, this was a day later, and the skin of feet look kind of gross, but yeah. So this was a day later, and Jade, you need some lotion on your feet, dude. It's a little rough.
We're zoomed in.
Yeah, we're zoomed in. So yeah, this is a zoomed in picture. But anyway, the day before this, you could see this bite right here. It was over just a little left. You could see 2 fang marks right there in his leg, and that was his foot, right? And so that is what we ended up with on the snake. Now, the day afterwards, let me finish up the story. So nothing ever happened, right? It's a baby snake, and it wasn't a baby snake, but it was a decent enough snake that this is his brother or its cousin or something, because this is the day afterwards that the same snake popped out. And as you can see, we have these things all over the place, and they give birth to like 80 babies. 90. There's like 90 of these little things going out here, and we're surrounded by these. These are everywhere out here. They come in our house. They're our dogs have not been bitten by them, and so as Jade got bit, I didn't realize the miracle that we had experienced up until like the next day when we didn't know. We didn't know if baby snakes didn't have any poison or what it was, or that he didn't have any kind of swelling at all. Nothing. Not a single thing. And so we have survived the pits of death more times, and I'm not going to say we have survived. I'm going to say that Yah has allowed us to survive the pits of death over and over and over. Just a couple of months before this, Caden fell into a water, like 20 feet of water that had trash in it, and he went way under it. He in his rubber boots. He's trying to swim up through like car bumpers and things of this nature. And when he came back, he literally smelled like a dumpster, like he had laid in a dumpster for a very, very long time. He was not good. He literally almost died. The hand of our Creator has saved our little rears so many times. We cannot. There has to be a story in this, and this is why I'm talking about the story. This is why I guess this should be encouragement to everybody out there that our Creator, there's nothing that our Creator does not know. When you guys run into your tribulations, when you run into your problems, when you have the people that can't drive and they're about to hit you, right? The hand of our Creator is all over every incident, everything that you guys have. And there is power in this. And I am trying to convince you guys from what I have seen that our Creator lives and that the invisible hand of power is all around us. And that's my dog knocking the fan over as I say that. It's great special effects. So this is something that I would like to bring to your guys' attention, if nothing else, but to encourage you guys to keep seeking our Creator through prayer, through obedience, through being His people, because when you are His people, there is a supernatural hedge of protection around you. Even though we do incredibly stupid things, our family does stupid things all the time. Walking outside without shoes on in a snake-infested jungle, that was retarded, right? We do those kind of things. We should have lost a member of our family if all things were right, and we did not. Our Creator has, again, kept us alive, kept my family alive through our stupidness. And again, the leader of the family here, I do a lot of incredibly bad things that our Creator has to bring His messengers in and help me fix. And so probably somebody everywhere is doing face palms. The messengers are probably bald because they keep hitting their heads every time I do something stupid, and they have to go in there and fix it. And so I don't hear a lot of stories about the supernatural. But all I can do is tell you from my incidents and what I've experienced that without a shadow of a doubt, I know 1,000% that there is a supernatural protection that is around us and all of us. And it will be around all of you because our Creator loves those who are obedient to Him, and He will take care of you guys. Okay, so that's it. Let's get into our reading for today, everyone.
Sister Barb says a snake bite was a warning to keep you on guard always.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. We have snakes everywhere. It's not just here. We've had them in our house before. We've had to kill them in our house. We just live in a very hostile environment when it comes to coming out of the concrete kingdoms, where we don't realize that the things of our Creator can kill us all. Okay, so that was that. Let us get into our reading today. And as Eli is finding this, we are Exodus where?
22.
Exodus 22 is where we are going to. And Jay, give us a quick breakdown of exactly where, what, when, why, how, and where are we to this point.
So, based on the last few chapters, the children of Israel, they got out of Egypt. They went through a few battles. They got food after complaining. They got water. They started getting commands. They went to Mount Sinai. Yahuwah started making loud sounds, thundering. Everyone heard His voice. He made them all clean up. They weren't allowed to touch the mountain. They started freaking out and said they were too scared to listen. They wanted Moses to tell them commands because they were too scared. And so that we are in the getting commands right now.
Okay. All right. So here we are. And again, I like thank everybody. Marina climbed on his chair when you told the story. Yeah. It's a wild place. I can't say that most people would enjoy living in the jungle. I mean, Miss Nicole actually cried the first days we were in the jungle because the cockroaches jumped on her back or something and went down her back.
6 months. No, he crawled up my pant leg and went all across my body and across my back. And Jason was in the States, and I was here.
She was crying. She's crying to me on the phone about the jungle life. But since then, we're all good.
done.
Now we have ant colonies. We have pet scorpions that fight in our bathrooms. We have pet lizards in all of our rooms.
Pet spiders.
Pet spiders. Miss Nicole actually keeps spiders alive in the bathroom to kill off the other things. Yeah, they have these giant antennas, and every time I kill one of her pet spiders, she gets upset because that's the thing killing off the other cockroaches and
The
things.
cockroaches that I hate that like to go.
Yeah, so it's wild out here in the jungle, folks. So here we are. Much love to y'all. Okay, Exodus 22.
Hold on, I do want to say one thing that Rosie Chica says. She says, how much we see His protection, how much more that we don't see. It's so amazing.
And that's it, Rosie, and to the rest of you guys. This is why I feel like I need to be a salesman. I feel like I need to be selling the supernatural because you just live life and you don't really see the supernatural until there's something horrible happening. But I believe the supernatural is all around us. I believe the messengers have all been tasked to us. They've all been assigned to us. And the people of Yah have an extra spiritual protection. And you will see it the most when things go wild, when things go haywire, when everything is out of control. And then you look back and you have that 20/20 hindsight that you can say, wow, I couldn't have done that by myself. We're not supernatural. We're not special. We don't have any of this stuff. How is it we keep getting saved over and over and over? And so there's something here, folks. I mean, it's not just a believing in the what everyone says, believing in the magic guy in the sky, right? It's not just believing the magic guy. The magic guy in the sky, Yah, He controls all this, and it is absolutely amazing. And I hope this story encourages some of you guys out there, because I'm telling you guys this with every last bit of what I believe to be 100,000% truth, that there are supernatural messengers roaming around us at all times, and there's also the devils and demons that are roaming around us at all times, which is why we want to be on Yah's side. We need to get in His ways. We need to be obedient to the greatest Creator that we could have ever had. Okay, let us begin. Okay, now here we go. Exodus 22, and guys, I hate to take off the chat because I love to chat, but I can't read. So here we go. Okay, Exodus 22. This is Yah Scriptures at the bottom. And as we are ending Exodus and as we're getting into Leviticus, all of these laws, statutes, and commandments that we read every Shabbat, right? These are where we found these. These are the things that you will find inside of this. And I've been reading the book of Josephus, Flavius Josephus, and there's a lot of stuff inside of his book that is obviously Judaism, but there's also stuff that I'm learning as well. And one of those things is that we didn't know, but we have the command of not to eat the fruit for 3 years after the tree is in bloom. And the book of Josephus, or not in that the tree's in bloom, but the tree has produced fruit. And the book of Josephus talks about a little bit more that it wasn't so much as the people eating the fruit for 3 years that you're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to offer a piece of fruit to our Creator that's less than like 5 years old or something of the sort. And that takes us to a little bit of Judaism right there. But that is what they are thinking, and that is the reason why, because we didn't know why. That if you eat you're not supposed to eat a piece of fruit from a tree for being at 3 years. But there's more to it. So anyway, here it is. Exodus 22. When a man steals an ox or a sheep and shall slaughter it or sell it, he repays 5 cattle for an ox and 4 sheep for a sheep. If the thief is found breaking in and he is smitten so that he dies, there is no guilt for his bloodshed. If the sun has risen on him, there is guilt for his bloodshed. He shall certainly repay. If he is not the means, then he shall be sold. Then he shall be sold for his theft. Okay, we've talked about all this stuff in depth before. Do you guys remember this whole part about when the sun comes up?
It's different in the Targum.
Is it? Is it totally different in the Targums?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll wait and we'll discuss that here in a second. Okay, 4. If the theft is indeed found alive in his hand, whether it's an ox or donkey or sheep, he repays double. When a man lets a field or vineyard be consumed and lets loose his livestock, and it feeds in another man's field, he repays from the best of his own field and the best of his own vineyard. When fire breaks out and spreads to thorn bushes, so that stacked grain or standing grain or the field is consumed, he who kindled the fire shall certainly repay. And guys, before we lose anyone's attention out there that these are some kind of old school things that don't apply to us, it's probably going to be the same way when the kingdom to come comes, that it's going to be the same set of rules set. And this is why these rules of our Creator are simply amazing, right? We're talking about a fire breaking out, right? And so you're out there burning something in your backyard, and you accidentally burn the guy's field down. It talks about how you are to repay it, right? The guy that kindled the fire, you burned everybody's stuff down. You got to take care of it, right? These are the things that our Creator has put forth to make things right. And this is why the Torah is good, because if somebody burns your field down and you can't get anything done, it's not a right way. And so our Creator's ways are really, really good when you look at the right ruling and the things that He has. What you got?
Back to the fruit.
Yeah.
Sister Barb, is that where I wanted to start? Yeah. Sister Barb says, because it's not clean, it's still defiled by the dirty land. It takes at least 3 years to regenerate the soil. And then Sylvia says she was thinking and talking about that earlier. Fruit trees produce fruit after 3 years of it in the 3rd year when it's fully grown. Also, it's not so edible before that.
Yeah, and we couldn't figure that out because we had orange trees and they came up, and I think like year 2 or something they had like little tiny oranges, but we never ate them because of the Torah command. I don't think we did anything with the oranges, but we could not figure out. But it has to do with the strength of the fruit, the strength of the tree, and the longevity of it. And I guess after 3 years, it's stronger, and maybe like Sister Barb says that the whatever is defiled in the ground,
soil.
the soil is better. So there's all sorts of reasons, and that's the thing is, we can't start doubting what our Creator says, because when you think about this, it's actually really good stuff, right? It makes a tremendous amount of sense. And you wouldn't have this if we didn't have the Torah, which is why I'm always telling people the greatest thing that we ever have is the Torah, because we have things like this. If we didn't have a father and mother and we had to learn life, then we could just read this Torah and we could learn things like this. Like, oh, okay, there's something about fruit trees we're not supposed to eat. If somebody gets busted stealing stuff, this is how it is. If I burn somebody's field down, I need to repay them. All these kind of things. All right, 8. If the thief is not found, then the master of the house shall be brought before Elohim to see whether he has put his hand in his neighbor's goods. And so we're talking about when a man gives silver or gold or goods to his neighbor to guard, and it is stolen out of the man's house. If the thief is found, he repays double. If the thief is not found, then the master of the house shall be brought before Elohim to see whether he has put his hand into his neighbor's goods. And again, these are excellent things. These are things that you might go on a trip. You might need to put your gold and silver in your buddy's house. It comes back. It's gone. What do? Well, now you know what to do. You know how to deal with it. 9. For every matter of transgression, for ox, for donkey, for sheep, for garment, or for whatever is lost, which another claims to be his, let the matter of them both come before Elohim. And whoever Elohim declares wrong repays double to his neighbor. Okay, now we're heading up to the Targums at the top. And again, the Targums is is kind of a little 11-ish based, which is what we are going to try to figure out. But 22:1 says this: if a thief be found in a window of a wall and be smitten and die, there shall not be on his account the guilt of the shedding of innocent blood. Now, what did that say in the first one? Hold on, I got to.
Found stealing.
When a man steals an ox or a sheep and shall slaughter it or sell it, he repays 5 cattle for an ox. Oh wait, remember it?
Yeah, you gotta
It was
go back.
it was
You gotta
that.
go back to
Remember,
the-
you don't remember that, Eli?
Forgot about that.
Bad Eli. Okay, so here it is right here. This is why this didn't sound right, because this other version of it, the Targums had Latin. So this is actually 22:1 right here. The guys that put this together, they're not real good editors, obviously. Okay, so this is actually the first one in the Targums. When a man steals an ox or a sheep, or kills or sells it, 5 auctions shall he make good for 1 ox, because he has hindered him from his plowing, and 4 sheep for 1, because he has impoverished him by his theft and not done service by it. So this is actually 2. So if a thief be found in a window of the wall and be smitten and die, there shall not be on his account the guilt of the shedding of innocent blood. Okay, this doesn't say anything about a window. It says a window or of the wall. And so that's very interesting.
It says breaking in. So
Yeah, breaking in, or it's interesting that there's such a difference on that. All right, verse 3. If the thing be as clear as the sun that he was not entering to destroy life, and one has killed him, the guilt of the shedding of innocent blood is upon him. And if spared from his hand restoring, he shall restore. If he have not wherewith to restore, the Beth Din shall sell him for his theft until the year of release. I don't know what the Beth Din is, or if these guys have like really botched the words on this thing. But this is interesting right here, because it does not say anything quite like this. Look at the size of the verses on these two. All right, let's continue on. 4. If before witnesses the thing stolen was found in his possession, from an ox or a donkey unto a sheep alive, he will restore 2 for 1. If a man break in upon a field or a vineyard, and send in his beast to feed in another man's field, the best of his field and the best of his vineyard he shall restore. If fire breaks out and catch thorns and consume the sheaves, and whatever is standing, or the field, whoever kindled the fire shall surely restore. When a man confides to his neighbor silver or vessels to keep without recompense for the care, and they be stolen from the man's house, if the thief be found, he shall restore 2 for 1. If the thief be not found, the master of the house shall be brought before the judges, and shall swear that he has not put forth his own hand upon the property of his neighbor. And when whatever is injured covertly, whether ox or donkey or sheep or raiment of whatever is so lost, he shall make oath when he says that so it is. And when the thing stolen shall be afterward found in the hand of the thief, the cause of both shall be brought before the judges, the cause of the householder and the cause of the thief, and whom the judges shall condemn, the thief shall restore 2-fold to his neighbor. Okay, where are we at on this?
you're on 10 down here.
10. Okay, so here we are, guys. We're heading back to Yah Scriptures at the bottom. And as you can see, there's a really, really good laws, statutes, and commandments. I would like to follow under the leader who puts these laws, statutes, and commandments out, because they are right, and I don't find anything that is incorrect in them. 10. When a man gives to his neighbor a donkey, or ox, or sheep, or any beast to watch over, and it dies, or is injured, or is driven away while no one is looking, let an oath of Yahuwah be between them both, that he has not put his hand into his neighbor's goods, and the owner of it shall accept that, and he does not repay. And these are situations that we can all get into, all of us today, because there's always times that things like this happen, that stuff disappears in other people's places, and our Creator has given us a way forward out of this. We don't need to go beat the guy up and figure it out. We got to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments that our Creator has given us to deal with these situations. 12. But if it is indeed stolen from him, he repays to its owner. If it is torn to pieces, then let him bring it for evidence, and he does not repay what is torn. And when a man borrows from his neighbor, and it is injured or dies while the owner is not present, he shall certainly repay. But if its owner was with it, he does not repay. If it was hired, he is entitled to the hire. And when a man entices a maiden who is not engaged and lies with her, he shall certainly pay the bride price for her to be his wife. If her father absolutely refuses to give her to him, he pays according to the bride price of maidens. Okay, this is a very interesting point right here. And I was reading about this in the book of Josephus, and there, as well. And this is one of these laws, statutes, and commandments that is, like, this one isn't as wild as the rape one, but this definitely is how to, this is a situation of adultery that has been found out, and that the man has to pay the bride price, and the father he actually has the right to refuse it because of the way it went down. But it's basically by him refusing it, refusing the marriage, he makes his daughter an adulterer, because she would be going in unless she got a writ of divorcement and she's not even married. So, 18. Do not allow a practicer of witchcraft to live. Does that mean we need to put the pharmacist away? Well, this is what it is. What is witchcraft? I mean, I don't think it's the people that are dancing around with hats on, right, around cauldrons, or maybe that is them. Maybe that's them. And we can't really go too far into this because they'll do what they do. And so the point of this is anything that comes out of Big Pharma is witchcraft, just so everyone knows. Doesn't matter what it is. Matters that it is. 19.
Sorcerer's Apprentice is what Sister Barb said.
Yeah, Sorcerer's Apprentice. Yeah, absolutely. And, you start hanging out with the crowd, then, bad things should happen to you. Okay, anyone lying with a beast shall certainly be put to death. Sounds absolutely wicked, right? It's absolutely wicked. He who slaughters to a mighty one, except to Yahweh only, is put under the ban. So anybody that has any other mighty ones at all, and they slaughter to him, you kill him. 21. Do not tread down a sojourner or oppress him, for you were sojourners in the land of Mitzrayim. Now, this command goes against Judaism, right? Because Judaism labels all of the people who are not in Judaism as goyim. And if you are a goyim, if you're a Jew, then you can hate goyim. You can steal from them, you can rob them, you can even rape them. There's verses in the Talmud, the Sanhedrin, like 25b, that talks about 3-year-old girls. It's a pedophilia gig, right? So this is why our Creator says, do not tread down the sojourner. You're supposed to love them. If there's somebody who's outside of who's not a Hebrew, who's not following the law, statutes, and commandments, if you tread them down, there's zero chance that they're ever going to become part of Yah's kingdom. They're not going to like that. What do you got?
Back to your bet den.
Yeah. What do they
So
say?
we have a new gal named Jana Lemons. So shalom to her.
Hi.
And
Hi, Jana.
she says there is one court that is higher than the Supreme Court, and that is the bet den.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, that's new. News to us. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Okay. Let's continue on. 22. Do not afflict any widow or fatherless child. Part of our laws, right? Very, very important. The widows are supposed to be taken care of. The kids are supposed to be taken care of. They're all supposed to be. We need to go to the top?
2 more verses.
Okay. 23. If you do afflict them at all, if they cry out to me at all, I shall certainly hear their cry. And my wrath shall burn, and I shall slay you with the sword. Your wives shall be widows, and your children fatherless. Now, guys, this goes back to that supernatural protection that we have, that I know without a shadow of a doubt exists all around us and has saved us over and over and over and over again. If we do dirt, if we do the homeless, if we do the afflicted, if we hurt those who are already hurt, and they cry out to our Creator, that supernatural is probably going to come back and get us in a way we don't want to. It's going to be bad supernaturals. Bad things are going to be happening to us, right? Our Creator loves the broken. He loves the hopeless. He loves those that are poor, the ones that are afflicted. Those are the people of Yah. And if we are in a position that we can hold them up, that we can pick them up, that we can do less damage than the damage they've already been done, then that's what we are called to do. But if we are afflicting them, then Yah's going to come get us. And we're not going to want that. So love the fatherless, love the widows. And we are heading back up to verse 10 at the top, even though it says 22:9, it is actually 10. I'm glad we didn't edit this one. Okay. If a man deliver to his neighbor all ox or a sheep or any animal to keep, if he is to keep it without recompense and it die or be torn by wild beast or be carried off and no witness seen who can testify it, an oath of Yahuwah shall be between them both, that he has not put forth his hand upon the property of his neighbor, and the owner of the thing shall accept his oath, and he shall not be required to make it good. 22:10, I guess this is 10. But if it be stolen from him who was to receive recompense for the care, he shall make it good to its owner. If it has been torn by a wild beast, let him bring witnesses, or bring him to the carcass, because for that which is so torn, he shall not make restitution. And if a man borrow anything of his neighbor, and the vessel be broken, or the animal die, and the owner be not with it, lie shall certainly make it good. I don't know. I don't think the word is lie.
Maybe he.
Maybe I.
Yeah, I don't know. The word's not lie, though, so these guys are terrible editors. You got to make it good, whatever it is that you need to make it good. Okay, if the owner be with it, he shall not make it good. He shall not make it good. If it had been lent for profit, its loss came on account of its hire. If a man seduce a virgin unbetrothed and have criminal conduct with her, endowing, he shall endow her to be his wife. Okay? So, we had that conversation last week with a gentleman who was here, and he said he was, what was the word he said? He was just out prowsing around with girls. Yeah, he said it was polygamy, but it wasn't a thing of polygamy, right? If a man is with a woman, doesn't matter who it is, you need to marry her, right? That is what this is all about. You're not out there making adultering women. You're not out there to be a panther, right? You're not out there to be sitting there, getting with the girls. If you get with a girl, you're supposed to marry her. That's what it is. If you walk away from your encounter, then you are both adulterers. You are both fallen under the laws of our Creator, and that's not what it's to be. If you make the mistake of premarital affairs, you need to make sure that that is your woman. It's not what we're doing in this world, how we're doing it. It's not right. It's contrary to what Scripture says. Okay, if this does not appear to him to be desirable, or if her father be not willing to give her to him, 50 selim of silver shall be laid upon him according to the endowment of a virgin. Okay, so basically it can still, even if you have done that evil deed, the father can still kick you out, and I mean, you still do great evil, and you've still made yourself an adulterer and made the woman an adulterer as well. Okay, sons of my people, Yah Scriptures, whosoever practices witchcraft, you shall not suffer to live. Huge thing, right? These are the things you're supposed to take all the witches outside the city gates and kill them. That's what Scripture says. And so, pharmacists, beware if the Bible was the code of life. Exodus 22:18. Whosoever lies with a beast shall be stoned to death. Whoever sacrifices to the idols of the Gentiles shall be slain with the sword, and his goods be destroyed. For you shall worship only the name of Yahuwah. And the stranger you shall not vex with words, nor distress him by taking his goods. Remember, sons of Yashrael, my people, that you were strangers in the land of Mizraim. You shall not impoverish the widow or the orphan. If you impoverish her, beware. For if they rise up and cry against you in prayer before me, I will hear the voice of their prayer and will avenge them. And my anger will be kindled, and I will slay you with the sword, and your wives shall be widows, and your children be orphans. So basically, the same evil that you did to the widows is what Yah will end up doing to you if you are evil to them. Okay, now we're on 25 on Yah Scriptures, and we will finish this up. If you do lend silver to any of my people, the poor among you, you are not to be like the one that lends on interest to him. Do not lay interest on him. This is a very big thing, right? Again, the amazing right ruling of our Creator, right? You're already poor. You got to go get a loan, right? And in the world we are in, we have all these bankstas, right? And you go get a loan, you're jacked for 15% interest. You get a credit card, just like 10% interest. There's no way out of them. Our Creator says, look, if you're going to loan money to one of my people, don't take interest. Don't lay it on him. Don't do this. Don't afflict them even further than what they're afflicted. 26. If you take your neighbor's garment as a pledge at all, you are to return it to him before the sun goes down. Well, for all these people that are like, well, these laws, statutes, and commands are gone. They're old. They're on the cross. They're nailed to the cross. Okay, well, if that's the case, then we're able to take our neighbor's garment as a pledge and rip him off, right? That makes your neighbor clothless. He doesn't have something to stay warm. This is how much our Creator loves all of us, that he has these little rules and regulations right here that sometimes you get into something that, hey, man, can you take my coat and give me something right now? I'll get it to you by the end of the day, right? That's what our Creator wants, right? He wants the people taking care of the poor, taken care of. 27. For that is his only covering. It is his garment for his skin. What does he sleep in? And it shall be that when he cries to me, I shall hear, for I show favor. Guys, this is how much our Creator loves you. What are you sleeping in? He cares about your comfort at night. If you're sitting here crying, guys, this is a creator of love. This is a creator of fatherhood. Somebody who's the greatest father ever to be made known, because these are amazing things that we are in right here. 28. Do not revile Elohim, nor curse a ruler of your people. Do not withhold your produce and your juice. Give me the firstborn of your sons. Likewise, you are to do with your oxen, with your sheep. It is to be with its mother 7 days. On the 8th day, you give it to me. And you are Kodesh men to me. And you do not eat any meat, which is torn to pieces in the field. You throw it to the dogs. So there's another commandment right there, right? This is what we don't eat roadkill. We don't eat the stuff on the side of the road. We don't eat what has been already killed, right? It's not healthy for us. It's not that you can't just fry it out and try to get to the bottom of it and try to get the filth out of it. It's that it has been torn apart. When something is torn apart, the animals come and consume it. Flies and all sorts of things. Out here in the jungle, I've seen a complete large cow disappear in about a week, everything. And his skull went down the road 2 weeks later, right? And there was nothing left of this thing. It completely consumes everything in these jungles. So that's why you don't eat it. Now we're heading back up to the top for our final piece. If one of you lend to one of my people, to one of the humble of my people, and you shall not be to him as an usurer, neither lay it upon him that there shall be witnesses against him, or that he gives pledges or equivalents or usury. If you take at all for a pledge the garment of your neighbor, you shall restore it to him before sunset, right? Very important. We do not leave people cold. The people of Yah are looked out for. Simply things like this. Our Creator knows when you're cold. 22:6, or I guess it's 22:7. For it may be his tail which alone covers him. It is his only garment in which he rests, which falls upon his skin. And if you take the coverlet of the bed whereon he lies, and he shall be heard before me, I will hearken to his prayer. For I am Aloha, the merciful. Aloha. I don't think it's Aloha, it's Aloha. Okay, sons of Yashrael, my people, you shall not revile your judges, nor curse the rabbins, who are appointed rulers among your people. All right, it doesn't say appointed rabbins. It doesn't say anything in that. Okay, is that 21? Is that 22:8, or is it 22:6?
It's 22:26, isn't it?
This one of mine is the wrong verse because I think we're off one. So it's 22:8 right here. Do not revile Elohim, nor curse a ruler of your people. So in the rabbinic version of it, they're like, don't curse the rabbis, who are appointed rulers among your people. And I guess that's the thing. But when you look at today's rabbis, the guys that actually wrote the oral Torah, I don't know if that falls under these people. I don't think these are the rabbins who you're not supposed to revile, because these people have made up a whole nother set of rules, regulations, and things, and they put people under all sorts of stuff. Okay, 28 or 29, whatever it is. The first of your fruits and the first of your winepress you shall not delay to bring up in their time to the place of my habitation. The firstlings of your males you shall separate before me. So you shall do with the firstlings of your oxen and sheep. 7 days it shall be sucked by its mother, and on the 8th day suckled by its mother, and on the 8th day you shall not separate it from before me. Okay, and the last verse here, which is 31, and set apart men, tasting unconsecrated things innocently, shall you be before me. But flesh torn by wild beasts, alive you may not eat, but throw it to the dog as his portion. Okay, well, at least the dogs are fed. There's not a lot of times that you actually hear the word dog, or people are talking about dogs in scriptures. The book of Tobit has something about dogs, and the book of Yehuda, the Testament of the 12, talks about their dogs. But there's not a lot of other places in there that we actually have like people pet dogs at all. Well, with that, Mr. Cole, what do you got?
I got a couple things.
What do you
Becca, she's a new one as well.
Hi.
She says, I wonder if the fruit of the Spirit can be overcome after 3 years in discipline. Just a thought.
Fruit of the Spirit be overcome with discipline?
Because we were talking about the fruit of 3 in 3 years, so the fruit of the Spirit.
I see.
Also be.
That's interesting. That's interesting. What else you got?
And Sylvia says, our poor people have been so oppressed by these, what I call loan sharks, and they cannot get out of it. Pray for my son to get out of this. He's working so hard, but never has money left.
Yeah, that's the thing, and this is YouTube. We can't even get the comments back on because these guys suck. That is it. I've never the banksters. I've had a lifetime of wars with the banksters, and the people who are always running the shows for bad or for good are usually the banksters, and credit card debt, all these things. I mean, you sign your life into a contract, and it's over, and they will make their money. And we shouldn't be dealing with banksters like this, and that's the whole thing. Is they completely enslave you beyond what we are. Yeah, I can't get the chat back. We're trying to get the chat back on, so Mystical has it. So, all right. Well, I think that's it. Mystical, do you have anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. Well, everybody, we love you guys very, very, very much. We are going to send you guys away with a blessing, the Aaronic blessing. Jade, will you please bless the people?
Yahuwah bless you and guard you. Yahuwah make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. He will put his countenance upon you and give you peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them.
Okay. All right, everybody. We hope that you have a wonderful day. Thank you guys for spending the Shabbat with us. You guys are our family. We love you. My apologies for the dogs. We do have 9 pit bulls, and they get a little rowdy about this time. All right. Hit. And almost hit it, Mike. There you go. All right, everybody, we thank you guys again very much. May Yahuwah bless you and keep you. May his light forever shine on you. May his grace forever be a part of your life. May the Torah forever be everything in your life. We thank you all for everything. We love you. Have a wonderful week. We're out.
All right.